Hey everyone, Ryan from Pipe Pal Tools and Accessories here. Had a great weekend at BuildX Vancouver. A lot of great exposure for the product. What I would like to talk to you today about is conventional methods versus the Pipe Pal method. I was an electrician for years, and one of the things that I find and one of the challenges that we've had to overcome is our competitor, which is conventional ways of doing conduit spacing and installation. I have guys saying, I space my conduit using my linesman, right? That's how I used to do it as well. The Pipe Pal conduit spacer method is 50, actually closer to 58% more efficient than spacing using your linesman. And there's also a number of factors that make the Pipe Pal conduit spacer the better choice for this. Not only the efficiency, but the safety side of things, right? Using my linesman, I'd have to stretch, plan up here, tighten. I don't have a free hand because I've got one hand spacing the conduit with the linesman, and the same hand is holding the conduit while my other hand is tightening my P-clamp. Right. So, if I'm working 30, 40 feet in the air, even if I've got control zones, if that P-clamp goes down, it can deflect, it can hit somebody, and I'm not going to have a friend on site, right? And if I drop my linesman, that's going to be a lot worse. So this weighs 1 pound, okay, and the Pipe Pal conduit spacer weighs 1 ounce. Being struck by this is going to have obviously less consequences than being struck by this. Being struck by one of these could be a career-ending injury. Being struck by one of these may be a first aid incident. But anyways, so we'll get back to the efficiency factor here, and just to kind of explain it a little bit, so you can see the big difference between using this and using this. With the linesman, I'm going to have to space each conduit individually. And like I said, what I'm going to need to do, hold my linesman, hold the conduit, right, in place. And now I've got my hand tightening my P-clamp with my nut driver, okay? So as you can see right here, I have no free hand. So if this P-clamp is going to fall, it's going to fall. I can try to catch it, but then I'm going to drop either this or this on somebody. Using the Pipe Pal conduit spacer, you've got the 5/8 arms on there, so you're always going to have consistently spaced pipe regardless of who's doing the spacing and installation. So with the method of the Pipe Pal conduit spacer, I'd have a conduit spacer on the end here, right? This pipe's already secured. This is going to be kind of my baseline for the installation. And with the Pipe Pal conduit spacer here, I would place it on every other conduit, right? So now for my spacing, all I have to do is push them all together, and now I can tighten up. I have 2 free hands. I'm not reaching. I'm not, having to look up and use a tape measure. So now, like I said, I've got a free hand. I can hold the P-clamp with one hand. The other hand, I use the nut driver. And then all I do is I would take this conduit spacer, I would put it on the end after all my conduits are tightened, and I would just repeat the process. There's videos on the site to do the comparison, so you can see the time. The 4 conduits being spaced, conventional methods was 47 seconds. The Pipe Pal method was 20 seconds. And again, it's completely perfectly spaced. So now the other thing is, with the efficiency, 57% efficiency, if I'm using a diesel or a propane lift, okay, that's going to be 57% or 58% less fuel I'm going to have to use. That's going to be 58% less exhaust that guys are going to have to breathe in. And that's also a 58% less carbon footprint that those emissions are putting into our atmosphere. So when we look at the safety factor, we've got the risk of having tools dropped on us, right? 1 pound for the pliers, 1 ounce for the Pipe Pal conduit spacer. And as well, not having to look up, not having to stretch and hold the linesman, it's going to reduce the risk of musculoskeletal injury. Okay. And, at the end of the day, if I've been doing this all day, and I've been doing it the conventional way, chances are I'm going to be getting pretty sore by about, 2-3 hours. So my productivity is going to slow down even further Whereas with the pipe pal conduit spacer here, it's just, I can go all day long, and I'm really, so it's double the productivity, well, with less than half the effort. Anyways, www.pipe-pal.com. Yeah, or email me, whatever. We've got a lot of videos coming up. We've got new products coming up, and hopefully you'll see these bad boys at a wholesaler or maybe even a retailer near you. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Stay safe.